Amplify your impact and create content that captivates. You are in business because you are here to make an impact. You have a duty to share your message. The problem is people don't know you. They don't know that you can change their lives. They don't know that you have something that will transform them from the inside out. And today we have Tony DiBernardo, who is going to help us really understand the impact of content and also how to create it in a way that transforms your business and transforms people's lives. Tony.
Hey, Macy.
You're on the Sales Girl YouTube channel.
I know. I am so excited.
You know, everyone's like, what is he doing on the Sales Girl YouTube channel? Well, I'll tell you, Tony is about to change Sales Girls' lives with this episode right here.
That's right.
Because Sales Girls, they know what to say and they know how to like convey a message, but actually getting it and packaging it in a way where you put it on the interwebs and people actually find it is a totally different ballgame.
It's a totally different ballgame, but can I tell you that sales girls they're the most prepared and qualified person to even start content because they have the hard part taken care of.
Ooh.
Content's easy.
What?
Showing up is hard.
Okay, content's easy.
It's easy.
What I don't know anybody in the world that would say content is easy. So help us really start to believe and embody that content is so easy.
Content is, let's put it this way. Not everybody can be on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube and just show up and, gosh, be famous and just attract a tribe to them. But anybody who takes an online course or something can follow you around with an iPhone, learn how to edit, and do all these things, right?
Yeah.
So if they can do it,
it's true.
Why can't you with the people skills, the you skills, why can't you just learn those skills?
Yeah. It might just be a little excuse back up in there in my mind.
It might be.
Yeah. So we're going to talk all about content. We're going to talk about YouTube, brand building, messaging, all of that good stuff. But let's just back up for a second and let's say, okay, who is Tony? Why are you qualified to talk about this topic? You're a dad, which, you know, the sales girls love. We're moms, a lot of us. And so we relate to you on that. So just kind of back up and tell us a little bit about how you know this topic so well.
First of all, I never wanted to be a videographer.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even know where to start because it started for me with a passion that turned into me wanting to put it on the internet. So when I was in college, I fell in love with human spaceflight and astronomy. And I really just wanted to teach it. I just loved it so much. So I just started a YouTube channel. Didn't know anything about video. Then somebody was like, yeah, hey, your YouTube channel's good, but I don't have time to watch YouTube. Do you have a podcast? I'm like, I sure do. Coming right up.
Oh, that's right.
So then we learned podcasting, and then COVID hit, so we all learned TikTok, and now we all know CapCut, and it was very slippery slope. But the reason why I'm qualified to teach on it is because I'm a father.
Yeah.
Because if I could have 3 hours a day of uninterrupted time, we could all be billionaires.
That's right.
But because I work in 15-minute installments throughout the day, just like a business owner, well, now I am a business owner, but just like a business owner they can't add all that time. They can't devote all that time.
Yeah.
People think that high quality content needs to have a dedicated time on a dedicated day of the week, but most of it is on the go, on the fly. And the only way you're able to do that is if you put the time in to master those easy skills.
Yeah. Wow. So you're telling me you create your content in 15-minute increments?
No, this is the hardest part. I work on it in 15-minute increments. But absolutely.
Yeah.
Will I be the most proud of it? Will I do all the keyword research? Do I do all the things? SEO, editing, blah, blah. No, but not every piece of content needs that.
Yeah.
If a piece of content needed that, I will make the time for it.
Yeah. Wow.
But if you need to show up every day, you can do that in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's so good. You know, I was just telling Tony and telling you, when you got here, the first thing that I did when I started network marketing was I got a nice camera because I thought that's what I needed. And I learned iMovie because it was already installed on my sweet little computer that I loved so much. And I just got on YouTube and I saw that it's like Command B. It's like Command Space, Command what? It's just all these little, Command, whatever.
It took you, a 5-minute YouTube channel?
I was a little bit slower, Tony. It took me a little bit longer, but I watched a couple of videos and all of a sudden it became super easy. And what I found is that when I knew how to do those little edits, I got more excited to make content. Now, it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't amazing. The main thing, all I really focused on was getting out the dead words and the pauses.
Sure.
Because I knew I'd lose people.
But do you know, just to cut in, do you know that editing, did you start to become like, started to think about content like a
Oh,
director?
well, all I could see is how much I didn't need in there.
Yeah, yeah.
I over talked so much.
Hmm.
And so I was like, oh, okay. It's so easy for me to see when I was editing myself, which is the worst, by the way. But when I was editing myself, I saw like, wow, Macy, you're really over talking here. This is really unhelpful. This needs to come out. It was all the things I needed to stop doing, not what I needed to start doing. So when you're saying learning these editing skills to produce content, it's like, yeah, that's nice to have. But like the substance of that is you become so much better when you go through this process of learning. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Because so one of the things I have my clients do is do a self audit of all their content. So if they're coming to me with content they've been trying for months and
Yeah.
whatever, is
You have them audit themselves?
oh yeah.
Oof, ow, it hurts.
Yeah, how else are you gonna learn?
It's
Like,
so painful.
I had to do this. I'm a twin. I'm an identical twin.
No, you are
I'm a
not.
triplet.
No,
Macy, yeah.
no.
Yeah. You know where he lives? Brooklyn.
Wait, you are a triplet?
Uh-huh. I just broke you.
You didn't. You're totally lying to me right
No,
now.
for real.
There are 3 Tonys?
No, no, no. One's a girl. So I have an identical twin brother and a fraternal sister.
Okay, we'll come back to that
We'll
later.
come back to this.
What?
He lives in New York.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we?
I don't know. Well, you know, my husband is triplet sisters.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know the triple life
You know
very
the life
well.
of
And
sharing
I'm praying for
all
like your mom is a godsend. Like
She
honestly,
is.
I cannot believe
She
she
was
did
going for
that.
number 2 and she got 2, 3,
Whoops.
4.
Whoops.
Okay.
That's amazing. Okay, so you're a twin.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
Talking about like substances
yeah.
you become.
So I was always used to like seeing a copy of myself
Oh
and critiquing him
wow.
because I would see it as like a version of me. You know what I mean? So I would see him and be like, oh, if that's how I would come across doing that, I definitely don't want to do that. Or, oh, he looks good or appears good doing this. Maybe I should do this. It's a mirror, right?
Wow.
So when you do that with your content, if you just ship your videos off to somebody, you're never going to get better at doing content. But if you're sitting there watching, you're like, oh man, what if I, like, here are the thoughts that I have while editing myself. Man, what if I came in with a little bit more detail of a script?
Yeah.
What if I knew that I was going to say this? I could have worn this, or I could have
Yep.
had this prop with me, or I could have, man, I really like look at the camera a lot. Maybe I shouldn't, like during interviews, maybe I should look, over here, or
Yep.
all these little things. It's immediate feedback.
Wow.
So yeah, I will always tell people to edit themselves.
Wow, that's so good. Now, you don't have to do it forever necessarily, but at first, as you develop the skill of presenting even, it's so
Yeah.
powerful. Gosh, you're selling me on getting back in the editing game.
Well, it's impossible to teach someone how you need to be edited unless you know exactly how to do it.
Wow. That is so huge.
Mhm.
Okay, so I want to talk about the words that you say in content because you can, do the command shift, command all those little buttons. But I think people really struggle with the substance that they bring within the content.
Can I tell you
What?
substance, the word?
Uh-huh.
I know you love definitions.
Oh, give it to me. I'm fixated on some definitions right now, so I can't wait for another one.
Substance is the root word of content. So you think content like we're making content, we're filming content, we're doing content's not a word.
Yeah.
Like that, it's most recently a word. What
That's
content
crazy.
really is, like where that came from, is it's like the contents of a container, like the contents of a business, the contents of a person. So all I think about content,
Wow.
like when you break down the definition, it literally means the substance or the essence of something
Ooh, I
contained.
just got chills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are the container,
Mm,
the content is just like you letting your essence out.
wow.
So if you are a sales girl
Yes.
and you've got sales messages, you've got guide method, you've got all this in here,
Yeah.
content is you just
Ooh. Okay, Tony, this is interesting. So essence is the highest level of teaching.
okay.
So the lowest level this is what I learned from Myron. The lowest level is tactics, which is the
Out.
press these buttons. Then it's strategy, which requires a lot of wisdom. And then it is something else. I can't remember exactly. And then it is essence. So it's the highest level of teaching. And it's so challenging and that essence is like it's teaching from a certain place where people are just like, I don't even know what's going on. I just know I vibe with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I noticed, I've been in rooms with other people a lot lately, and I'm like, wow, the way I see you online and the essence that I feel from you, it's so different, like in a good way. It's like, I love being with you. You're so fun. I like don't get this vibe from you on online.
Like you don't have the opportunity. online.
Yeah, I don't have the opportunity. And that's why I think in-person events are so powerful, is because they feel your essence so much more. And then when they see you online, they're reminded of the essence they felt with you online, in person.
Totally.
And so when I'm hearing you, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so I think that there's a way to get better at having in-person essence transferred accurately online. And that is a skill that I for sure don't have.
No, I think you do.
I'm not so sure.
Maybe it's Lindsay. Maybe she's the one that brings it out.
You know, praise God for her. Gen Z Lindsay, get you a Gen Z if you can. She's a literal angel. But seriously, like, if you could help someone understand that concept better, how would you coach them on learning how to do that?
So a lot of people think, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but doing a lot of things yourself, I know we don't all have the luxury of endless time to just do all this.
Yeah.
But you say it all the time, is that unless you can do something as easy as tying your shoes,
that's right,
you can't do it.
That's right.
So when I first started, I would just not even post on TikTok or Instagram. I would just look at the camera and talk to the camera off. The camera was off. Like, I literally had to get comfortable looking at that phone, because the whole time, if you haven't mastered having a conversation with a camera lens, and your sole focus is going to be this camera lens and the amount of people that could be watching.
Totally.
But if you could just put that in the bucket of tying your shoes, it's that easy. Then you can allow your essence to come out. So what I tell people is, you have to just show up on camera every day. If in the beginning you might think, well, I'm not going to be good. It's okay. Nobody's watching in the beginning. You have no followers. Do it while nobody's watching.
Yeah, that's the time to do it.
Just get on there.
Yeah.
You have to do it so much that you remove that hesitancy that is a camera, and say that is a friend, that is a follower. And then once that block is out of the way, essence will just come through.
Yeah, and it's almost like constant coaching. Like, as you're delivering content on camera, it's like constantly coaching yourself through the process. And I'll say this because, you know, we're in our training space right now, and we built this because we were doing trainings every single month. And so we would have a room between 20 and 40 people come in here every month, and I train them. So experiencing different people in the room for, you know, the years that we did that, I would have to like coach myself. Like, if someone yawned, I'd have to coach myself on like, okay, they're probably like, if they're not bored, they just didn't take a deep breath, or jet lag or something like that. Or if someone like looks confused, like you have to kind of read the room and adjust, which is why I love in person. But I notice when I'm on camera, I'm like, I don't have anyone to bounce that vibe off. And so I almost have to like imagine a specific person, like smiling and nodding and leaning in and having all these aha moments. And it's hard to do.
You need to get yourself a flow.
Oh yeah. You know what's so funny? We were doing a webinar one time. Kat was doing it, and one of our coaches, she said, Macy, go sit in the room with her and just hype her up. Like, the whole time she's talking, just nod, and like every time she gets to a good part, just be like, yeah, that's so good. Like, hype her up the whole way.
Yeah.
That is game changer. If you can get someone like that in the room, that'll change the game for when you do content, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I say too, like, a really good, I won't stress on this, but if y'all aren't going live, it is such a perfect place for this feedback. Because you get strangers, which is great.
So good.
Forget about a lot of them. A lot of them are just passing through.
Yeah.
But if you want to get more comfortable on camera, just a quick tip. Let's go down to the bottom for tactics.
Yeah.
Write a script of your message.
Yeah.
This could be your story. This could be your sales message. This could be anything. I'll literally write it as a script. I'll tape it on the window.
Yes.
We're doing lives in front of windows because that's the best lighting.
So good. Okay. Noted. I definitely don't think about that. And
soft
I should.
light, big soft light.
Okay.
Like these guys.
Yeah.
And just start reading over and over and over.
Really? Going live?
Going live and just reading it. When somebody comes in, you welcome them.
Cool.
When somebody comments, you stop and you address the
comment. It, yeah.
And then you go back.
Wow.
Because when somebody gets on live, I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but it's so fun. I love going live so much. When somebody's going live and you see these people live and they're like slumped over halfway on the screen, nobody's going to scroll.
That's right.
But if somebody's mid-sentence talking about something that's like, oh, they know what they're talking about, I might listen. You want people to feel like they're like interrupting you or a conversation. They're stepping into a conversation that's already happening. It gets you more comfortable on camera. It gets you more comfortable with your sales message. And at a certain point, eventually, you won't even be able to get through that story.
Wow.
Because you just have so much live feedback from people.
Okay, wait. Let me get this straight. So you're saying have like a message, a script,
and
just repeat it.
Repeat it over and over again.
Going live.
Going live.
The brilliance of that is insane. Do you know why that's so brilliant?
I do, but I want to hear it from
Okay, so first of all, I get like the people coming in and out, so smart. Number two, it is so low risk because it's not there forever, right? It's just a quick little video that people will either see or they don't. You don't have to post it to your feed. And number three, the repetition. In my opinion, how to develop essence is to repeat and refine. And what you're going to see, we're here for Sales Mastery Live right now, right? So what you're going to see is people are going to be getting coached, and you're going to watch them repeat their message right in front of you over and over and over again. And you will see the difference between the first and the last time. It's night and day. So you're not just repeating, you're refining.
Can I add on to that too?
Please.
You say it is low risk.
Yeah.
All content should be seen as low risk when it's short form.
Okay.
So what I found is that, I mean, this is auditing hundreds of accounts. When you, let's put it this way, a great piece of content can really just catapult your account.
Yeah.
But a poor piece of content, I mean, there's exceptions where you like do bad things and set people off.
Right.
But poor, like not engaging, does not hurt your account at all. So
what accounts? Instagram?
Instagram, TikTok.
Okay.
Like anything short form. Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, X.
Okay.
Does not hurt your account.
Really?
So like when you say something's low risk.
Yeah.
All short form videos are low risk because you can try it. And do you know about the tier system?
No.
Macy.
Break it down. I can't wait.
Okay. So the way that Instagram and TikTok work, most short form video algorithms work like this. Is they'll show your video to like 200 people first.
Okay.
And you've seen this. When you post, they'll have like, it'll go to 200. Oh, later, an hour later, it's at 500. Oh, now it's at 1,000. There's these thresholds, and there's a grading system.
Oh, wow.
So if you post and let's say it gets a certain amount of engagement, this is some sort of combination that they've graded that's in a secret black box of comments, likes, shares, watch time. And if your video hits that level of a certain amount, then it gets pushed to more people.
Okay.
Then it needs to get a higher level and get to more people.
Yeah.
And the levels are like 200, 500, 1,000, 3,000, 8,000, 12,000, and that's how it keeps going up.
Wow.
So if in 8 hours you're stuck at 200 views, cool. I'll private the video. I'll try it again.
Oh, really?
You don't have to private it, but if you don't want low videos to show up to lose credibility on your account, you just refilm it a different way.
Okay.
So what I'll do is this is not for everybody, but I'll make like 5 different versions of a reel if I'm like
that's really smart.
Experimenting zone, and then just post them like 2 hours apart and just see which one does well. You'll see a lot of these accounts with like 1 million on every one.
Yeah.
It's because they just test all their content. Nobody sees the testing.
Wow.
That is not for beginners, but it's very fun. So what I'm saying is all of your content can be low risk.
Yeah.
You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it.
Just think about it that way. Will really set you free, honestly.
Just like film the content. Post it.
Dang. Okay, so you keep saying TikTok.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll scroll on TikTok. I'm like, man, I should really take this seriously. And then next thing my brain is like, nah, I don't have time. So I need you to tell me, is TikTok the vibe for us creators who are selling high ticket programs? Or is it's just not for us?
There is so much to unpack with TikTok.
Yeah.
So with TikTok, I'll just kind of give some base layer numbers. What I'll say is it's worth the time.
Okay. It is worth the time.
Depending on your industry and your goals.
Okay.
Anything.
Yeah.
TikTok is so inflated. So the app is literally designed to keep your attention. The currency on TikTok is attention.
Yeah.
It's built for virality.
Yep.
So like 100,000 followers on TikTok is the equivalent of about 10,000 on Instagram.
Wow.
That's how I kind of see
That's
it.
crazy.
So if you post, which I did, I posted all the same videos all at the same time on TikTok and Instagram. I got 100,000 on TikTok. I got 5,000 on Instagram.
Wow.
It's just weird.
So when you say inflated, what do you mean by that?
So, okay, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying basically that's what you mean is like the 100,000 and the 10,000 inflated, like everything is just seems bigger than what it really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'll say in terms of the sales girls, Instagram is your vibe.
Yeah.
That should be your focus.
Yeah.
Because there's a main difference between the two apps. Instagram focuses on shares. So like in that weird, when I talk about algorithm, it's like everything's weighted.
Yeah.
So comments have a certain weight.
Oh, wow.
Likes have a certain weight. Watch time. So what percentage of the video do they watch? And shares.
Wow.
So the head of Instagram has come out and said, we want to build an app that shares content. People want to share content. And
Wow.
just sending videos to friends. Shares are the most heavily weighted.
Wow.
TikTok, it's watch time, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it really is different content.
If you want to go viral,
yeah,
TikTok. If you really want to build a lot of community and connectivity, it's Instagram.
Wow.
But what I will say is, you never know what can be viral. You never know. I never chase virality, but hell, if it's just another click of a button,
100%.
Right? So
yeah,
I always say, if you have the bandwidth, post on all the platforms.
yeah,
And just see if your content starts picking up in areas you may not expect.
yeah.
But Instagram is, I will say Instagram and X are really good options for businesses.
X.
You know what? Say what you want.
Talk about X.
About Elon.
Oh.
People that
I love it. Yeah.
People that bet against him typically lose.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
He's on a mission to create the best video platform there is.
Video? Wait. I'm sorry. X is a video platform now?
Mm-hmm.
This shows how old I feel and look right now by not even knowing that.
So let me say it's very recent.
Oh, is it recent? How recent?
2 years.
Oh.
It's okay.
This is so embarrassing. Okay.
Well, you called it X, so.
Well, you called it X, so I just copied you.
I'm forcing myself to. I still call them twins.
Okay, so
So he'll post a lot. So he'll post a lot about what TikTok is. Good Lord. X and Twitter.
Yeah.
What X is working on, what they're prioritizing.
Okay.
You know, he launches all his rockets.
Yeah.
SpaceX, and they live stream everything, and it's like a perfect testing ground.
Wow.
Or launch pad. For
love that.
Testing video.
Okay.
He's got somebody who's created material explicitly for X. It's like Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Where like he'll only do interviews on X.
Got it.
Some people will only do
Got
interviews
it.
on X.
Okay.
And
it's like Spotify, kind of.
It's kind of like that, but
yeah.
He really wants to make it like the town hall
wow.
of the internet.
Wow.
And so, do I necessarily want to use it that way? Maybe not. It's not that. But what I do know is that they're focusing on video. They're focusing on pushing out video.
Wow.
And whenever somebody's whenever a platform is trying out new features, you use them.
Wow. Yeah.
They push them out.
Right.
So if X wants to be the #1 video platform, you better believe I'm
do you do that?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Every app.
Wow.
I will post once and post it on 7 apps.
Even LinkedIn? Okay.
LinkedIn should be catered. LinkedIn is the one that should be catered.
Okay. Yeah, it's just so interesting. Like people will say, Macy, just post your stuff on LinkedIn and in X and whatever. Just post it. And I'm like, it's not that simple. It feels like there's just so much more. It's cool to hear you talk about all these things. I still for me, I'm going to lock in on Instagram and YouTube. That's my channels of choice to master first. But the way I like to think about content, it's almost like an octopus arms. Like if you have one really strong arm, you can kind of grab more things versus a lot of weak arms. You're like, come on. And then you start to strengthen one arm at a time. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what my mental state has to think about, or else I will be like, do it all. And then it's all just average, you know?
I want to use your own analogy to challenge you on
it. Yeah, please.
Instead of thinking of YouTube as this big octopus arm, where you're not going to be swimming in a straight line, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Think of it as the trunk of a tree. If YouTube could just be your trunk.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the day-to-day reels. I'm not talking about the quick B-roll shots. That's different kind of content.
Yeah.
I want to put that aside for a second.
Okay.
But if you treat YouTube, Myron Golden.
Oh yeah.
He teaches. You know what he teaches.
I do know.
Everyone knows what Myron.
Yeah.
He's focusing on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Russell Brunson just delisted 1,500 videos.
What does that mean? Delisted?
He privated, took them off of the YouTube channel.
Okay.
And he's starting from scratch.
Wow.
And he's said that paid ads have become so much and organic content is so good and so valuable, it's impossible to ignore.
Yeah.
People who take this seriously are taking YouTube seriously.
Yeah, so good.
We can have YouTube be our North Star, our tree trunk, if you will. And all these other pieces of content can just be the branches.
Wow.
For instance, when I'm operating at max capacity, I'm creating a 15-minute YouTube video, crafted, scripted.
Oh, wow.
Then I'm chopping that up into 5 reels.
Okay.
Those 5 reels are my tweets for the week. They're my email blasts for the week. They're my LinkedIn posts for the week. Those videos are going to go on X, TikTok, Snapchat. You can make Reddit posts. Snapchat is back.
Wow.
I remember when Snapchat came out. Oh my God.
Never forget.
Snapchat is now back.
Wow.
So one piece of like 15, if you were to give me a 15-minute YouTube video right now, I could give you 50 pieces of content for 7 different platforms that you can post this week.
Wow.
So like YouTube can be that thing that you focus on and you craft and you do, and everything else, you could just spread that seed and like create a foundation for yourself.
Pollinate it.
Pollinate.
Yeah.
So when you do create these trendy TikToks or Instagram Reels, or you do this B-roll, somebody's like, oh, I vibe with her. I wonder, like, does she have any substance? You go, boom. She's credible.
Yeah.
She's everywhere, omnipresent. Oh, this is a real brand.
Good.
Got it.
So good. Man, you're inspiring me. And the thing about YouTube, and one thing that I've heard is there's a different type of, a potential buyer when they watch you landscape. They said that something about turning your phone landscape turns their brain into more of a learner brain, and they're more bought in and actually listening to what you have to say versus this vertical scrolling is way less focused time. So it's like quality versus quantity time a little bit. And that is the image I can't unsee. It's like, imagine someone just turning it landscape and being like, okay, I'm ready. Like I'm actually like this listening, which is obviously the people that I want. And I know you want those people too, right?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's good, right?
It pairs well with so many of the other truths about landscape.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you could post 1,000 TikToks, but if they're 10 seconds long, it doesn't matter, right? Because we know that people become more loyal to you the more time they are with you.
That's right.
Not the amount of times they're with you. Right? So YouTube, having a place for a 15-minute clip, invaluable.
Wow. Wait, say that again. It's not the
number of times they interact with you, but the amount of total time they have with you.
Wow.
Which is why when you do challenges,
so good.
I've talked to you about, you've coached me on challenges where I said like, I want to do a 3-day challenge. And you're like, no, 5-day.
Yeah, at least.
It's the amount of time.
For sure. Yeah. Immersion is so huge because, I mean, if you were going to, so a huge part of selling your offer is having their brain look like your brain, right? And it's kind of like if you were to go learn another language, the best way to do it is just go move to the country for a period of time and just be like, let's just transform my brain into this culture and the way they speak and what they eat and how they dress. And then you come back and you're actually more uncomfortable in the place you started with than when the country that you went and visited. So when you spend so much time with people in content, it's like you're saying, hey, come move into my country with me so that your brain starts to look a little bit like my brain and you're actually more comfortable with me than you are with like your friends that you're with day to day.
Yeah.
It's huge.
This is going to sound like I'm completely insulting you, but I promise it's not. I thought you had this superpower and it was only you that could do it.
Oh, really?
Because in your challenges, you are transformational. Like you do that. You transform people's brains.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that just anybody could do it, but I started running a challenge.
You can do it.
I cannot believe. Some challenges have been, I felt like I've done better or performed better.
For sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
After 5 hours, sometimes 10 hours, depending on what they do.
Yeah.
Their brain is just like yours.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool. You're like, sometimes they were good, sometimes they weren't. This is the epitome of earning while you learn.
Yeah.
You're like, I wasn't that good, but I still earn. And that's what's so great about it. Okay. I want to talk to you about brand for just a second. Okay. So, my absolute, I actually don't want to say I regret this by any means, because when you start to see the pieces come together when you look in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
Not so much when you're looking ahead. So I've been looking in the rearview mirror a little bit. I'm just like, why did that happen? Like, for example, I was thinking about working at the church that I worked at. Worked there for like 4.5 years. That's a long time. This business is only 6 years old. Like, can you imagine if I started earlier? And like, so I just think about like, why was I there, for so long? And when I look back, I'm like, oh, that's where I met my nanny that has been with us, from the beginning.
Yeah.
And like, she's literally, I swear, she's like why I was there for so long, to build a relationship with her. And I'm so thankful. So one of the things that I would say I regret is I didn't focus on brand at all until recently. And when I look back, I'm like, there are so many rooms that I've been putting myself in lately, and everyone knows each other because of who they see on the internet. Like, I see you on the internet. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Instagram. You go viral all the time. I see your ads, and they're all friends instantly because of their brands. And I'm like, dang it, like nobody knows me. Yeah. Nobody knows me. And I'm so frustrated by that because I spent so much of my energy and efforts focusing on inside of the business and the program, which of course praise God for that, because the program is world-class and life-changing in all of those ways. And maybe some people have a world-class program and maybe they don't. But I'm like, man, if I started focusing on brand at the beginning of this, how much different would my life be today? It would be drastically different.
Yeah.
I really believe that. So I really want you to help sell the girls who are thinking, I'll worry about brand and content and brand building content. There's like the quick content and there's the brand building content. I'll worry about that later. What can you tell them to help them see that this is the most critical thing that they could focus on right now?
Three things. First, no matter what side, no matter what way you're driving on that street, everybody's always going to be looking in the rearview mirror. So if you focus on brand first, they're always going to say, man, I wish I would have focused on operations a little more. If you focused on operations, which you're like the queen of, you're going to always say, I wish I would have focused on that. So nobody stress about that. If you're in one way or the other, everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Number two, I genuinely believe that it is your obligation to be putting your message out there.
Yes.
Let alone why it's good for your business. So I was raised Catholic, and one of the things we were raised with very dominantly was this verse will never leave my mind. I'm not a memorizing guy, but like Matthew chapter 6, it says, don't talk about your good works and pray in public, because that'll be your reward, right? You'll get it. It's this idea of just being humble. And I'm like, well, great. Once I realized that I was going to be on camera and the work that I was doing was going to be out there, I was really afraid. Like I thought it was the opposite of humility. So I was like, nah, let's just focus on making a really good product, really good training. I'm just going to record an online course or something.
Yeah.
That's Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 5 says don't put a lampshade on your lamp like you put it on top of a hill, right? Like if you have light to share, it is God is telling you to let it shine. Like you're not up here, trying to become famous for the sake of being famous. Right. You're not up here trying to, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not,
there's a noble reason.
And there's a noble reason, and you are helping people or growing a business. I think it is your God-given obligation and a right to be sharing this with other people.
That's right.
So I think you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, but to the people that you're trying to serve. Okay, and number 3, people are terrified of others watching them grow.
Whoa.
You know this. I'm sure you've thought about this. Have you ever thought
whoa, I've never put words to it like that.
Yeah.
But that is 100% a thing.
Like if I'm not a guitarist, but if I pick up a guitar, because Ina told me to.
Yeah.
I love Ina. If I pick up a guitar and I'm like, man, I'm going to start playing that song I used to know 10 years ago, I would hate for somebody to be like, aw, cute.
He's trying.
Yeah. Oh, good for you. Good for you. You're doing passion stuff.
Little Tony.
Yeah.
So sweet. Yeah.
There's something about other people watching you grow that just, in some contexts, I will let it just irk me to the bone.
Yeah.
But with content in your business, your most loyal fans are the ones that see your bad content.
Wow.
Right? And people are afraid these days of having loyal fans. Do you know this?
No.
Like in any business, you think, man, loyal fans is phenomenal. But for some reason, now that it forces us to put ourselves online and be really vulnerable, having people know us that well is scary for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's like unsettling.
Yeah. Well, in business, you never had to do that. You never had to be this vulnerable, transparent, approachable in businesses before, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But now people know you so well. And I understand that that's scary.
Yeah.
So there's a way to do it to where you can let people see you fail, let people see you try. Because when your content is great, a month, 6 months, a year down the line, it's those people that are, I hate to say that they have a use, but they have other value. But they're the first ones commenting. They're the first ones sharing. They're the first ones that are in your corner.
Yes.
So I genuinely believe that you are doing yourself a disservice by not just getting on there. Published is better than perfect.
Wow. Tony, that is going to set people free in their minds, genuinely. And I think also Like it'll help people appreciate, because everyone has those people who are like their hype squad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some people are like, oh my gosh, I just wish someone new would show up. Like I just wish
Yeah.
be someone other than my sister's friend's cousin. Like
I
why
know.
are there
Does
not new people
Instagram know that I have like a team of 10 people that
that
are all
just
friends,
comment?
just sharing and
And you
commenting?
feel almost like frustrated. I know I've been there before. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's like the same people. But that is such a good perspective. It's like, praise God for them, you
Mhm.
know, praise God for people that like do hype you up and you're so thankful for them. And know that they get to be the people that watch you soar. That's
Yeah.
so cool. They get to be the people that say, I was the first one that,
Exactly.
you know, went to her first event and it was terrible, you know?
When you do post something and somebody's like, scam.
Yeah. They're like,
whatever.
no.
There's an army of them that
Yeah.
like, watch your tone.
That's exactly right. Wow, Tony, that's so good. Okay, I want to close this up and I want you to give your best piece of advice for the person, for the girly, for the sales girl who is ready to take this content game seriously.
My best piece of advice is to keep it classy.
I love that so much.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Camera, lights, audio, scene, script, you.
Ooh.
Classy. That was an accident. Let me be clear.
So good.
I was trying to think of all the ways that we need to show up, and it's classy. Camera, lights, audio. These are, I know you said it took you more than 5 minutes. These are YouTubeable things.
Yeah.
That you can get to enough to be dangerous, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Go buy an HD camera. It doesn't have to be 4K. Buy an HD camera. Learn how to use an audio editing that you can watch a 5-minute video.
Yeah.
Use a free Adobe tool that'll make your podcast sound like butter. Okay. Lights. There's a 5-minute video. You need a key light. You need a 30-degree light over here. You need some backlight. Easy.
Wow.
Scene. You clearly have this down pat. It's great.
Thank you so much.
Make your environment intentional.
Yeah.
Sometimes that means you're on a walk. Sometimes it means you're not. Sometimes it means you're in a studio. Sometimes it means you're in the kitchen. Whatever. Script. Know what you're talking about. You don't have to have it scripted. Yeah. I do. On YouTube, I'm scripted.
Wow.
On random TikToks, I'm not. Lives, I'm not. But like, understand what you're talking about, because you only have a little bit of time to rope someone in. You need to be intentional with what you're saying and how you're saying it.
So good.
All of that is great.
Yeah.
Anybody can succeed with that.
Yeah.
The most important part of any of this is you. It really is. Like, I want to dive into this a little bit. I know you said you were wrapping up, but
yeah.
If I were to start a brand new YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, I would not even start. I wouldn't even post my first video unless I knew exactly how I, Tony, was standing out and publishing content in a way nobody is doing right now. So if I were to get into maybe the sales coaching, I'd look up sales videos. I'd come across sales girls. I'd come across Myron. Maybe it's Christian based, right? Get as niche down as I want, and I'd find out what's working. What are the leading, what are the thought leaders, the industry leaders doing in this space?
Yeah.
What are some of the people doing in this space that are growing really quickly? And I find this by finding like what videos are trending on accounts that like don't have a lot of followers yet. Like what's working right now? What are people doing? And as I do this for sometimes weeks, right, is what I would probably spend on it. What am I missing? Like, what is this gap where I'm like, I think I can fill that, and I'm the right person to fill that? Because there may be a couple gaps, and it's like, you may not be the right one for this. If I can find a way to insert myself into something that is already proven, Christian sales coaching, oh my gosh. And find a way to show up that there's a part of the audience that their needs are not met, and I can just target them with messaging, SEO. My whole setup will be, intentional. Like if I'm talking to dads, who, for instance, if I'm talking to dads who, work a full-time job, and they're at work all day, and they come home from work, and they don't want to, they don't have the energy to spend time with their kids. They only have 2 hours with their kids. Maybe they only have an hour. Then it's dinner time. Then it's bedtime routine. Then it's like frustrating. You haven't settled down from work yet. Now you're getting into bed. You feel that stress.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to go to my car, talk to them while I'm on break. Because that's probably the time they have. I'm going to talk to them on my way home from work, talking about, how hard it is to be in sales, but also be a father. Like, very specific.
That's so good.
And then I enter in.
That's so good.
So like, I think people, classy, you comes last in classy. It's the most important piece.
Yeah. Wow. So good, Tony. Tony, you are one of the most well-spoken people that I know.
Shut up.
I swear. You are so polished and very easy to listen to.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing with the Sales Girls. Where can they find you and where can they learn from you?
You can find me, Content with Tony, everywhere.
Ooh, that's smart.
But if you want to DM me, Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tony. You are amazing, and I can't wait for the Sales Girls to learn from you.
Thank you for having me, and I can't wait to do it again.